Hi everybody, so this is a video for page 148 in your Mathemagic, okay? So you can see up here, we are doing a look back page and you can tell from the page that it's going to be revising some things that we learned in money, okay? Now, this is a page of word problems. So with word problems, what we have to do is we have to change the word problem into a number problem. So we have to change these words into sums. All right, and we know from doing these throughout the year that we need to look for a clue word in each one to figure out whether they're asking us to add or take in each one. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work through each one. I'm not going to do it for you, but I'm going to show you how to do it, and then you can do it afterwards by yourself. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each one, and like this one, we're going to write the amount above it, and then we're going to work out whether we have to add or take them. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Number one, I have, so you can see here, sorry now the light might not be great. I have, so 5 cent, 5 cent and 2 cent. So what I want you to do is I want you to copy what I've done here and I want you to write how much the coins are above it. You can see in each one there is some amounts of coins, okay? I think if we write how much the amount is in total above it, it'll make it easier. So I have 12 cent written up there. So I buy a pencil for 8 cent. Excuse me. I have how much change. So when we're working out our change, it's going to be a take. All right, so we'll just write that there, that you'll know when you're doing it that it is a take sum, and it's going to be this. So 12 cent, take away 8 cent to find out your change. Okay, because remember when we're taking, we're always going to have the bigger amount first. It's going to be 12, go back 8. Okay, and if you think about it, it makes sense. I have 12 cent, I buy the pencil for 8 cent. So I'm giving the shopkeeper 12 cent. It's too much money, so the shopkeeper is going to give me back some change. And to figure out the change, I'm going to say 12 take 8. So when I'm figuring out change, it's always going to be take. So I'm just going to write whether it's an add or a take sum at the end of each one as well. Okay, so next one we can see here a ball for 18 cent. I want to buy the ball and I have this amount of money. Okay, so again I'm going to just add them together, 10 cent and 5 cent. So when I add them together, that is going to be 15 cent. Okay, and I'll just write it up there, and that will make it a little bit easier for me. Okay, so I need how much to buy the ball. So I don't have enough. The ball costs 18 cent. I have only 15 cent. How much more do I need to buy the ball? Okay, so if I add them together, that's not going to work, because then I'm going to find out how much the ball costs with the amount of money that I have, and I don't want to do that. I want to find out the difference between, okay? Now, difference between these two amounts, 18 cent and 15 cent, okay? Now, it doesn't have the word difference here, difference between here, but that's what I'm doing. I want to find out the difference between 15 cent and 18 cent. Okay, and if we were in school, I'd be able to show you our poster wall, our maths poster wall, and on it I'd be showing you the subtraction poster on the maths wall, because whenever we hear a difference between, that means take. Okay, so I'm just going to write take here, because that's going to be a take one as well. So that if I'm finding the difference between two numbers, that is going to be take. Okay, so it's going to be 18, go back 15. Okay, so here Bill has this amount, so we have 10 cent and a 5 cent, so if I add them together, I'm going to have 15 cent. Okay, and Hazel has 10 and 10, so 10 plus 10 is 20 cent. Okay, so just when I'm writing the number above it, it does make it a little bit easier. Hazel has how much more than Bill? So again, we're working out the difference between these two, 15 cent and 20 cent. When we work out the difference between those two, is it going to be add or take? It's going to be take, isn't it? Okay. So Joan has this amount, 2 cent, 5 cent and 10 cent. So remember I was telling you when we were doing the money chapter, it's actually easier to start counting from the biggest coin. So 10 plus 5 is 15, 15 plus 2 is 17. So I'm just going to write 17 up here. And Anne has 2 cent, 2 cent and 10 cent. So if I'm adding that together, I'm going to go 10 cent, 2 cent and 2 cent. So 10 cent plus 2 cent is 12 cent, plus 2 cent is 14 cent. All right, so let's write that there. So Anne has how much less than Joan? So again, we're trying to work out the difference between the two amounts, okay? So 17 cent and 14 cent, the difference between those two amounts, if I'm working out the difference between, it is going to be take. Okay, so as you're going down through each one, boys and girls, I want you to do the exact same thing that I'm doing. First of all, I want you to work out how much these coin amounts are, and write it above it, okay, because it's just easier to work with then. And then I want you to figure out whether you're going to be adding or taking. If you're finding the difference between two numbers, it's going to be take, okay? So number 5, I want to buy this bar. So the bar is 18 cent and I only have this amount. So I have 5 cent, 5 cent and 2 cent. So 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12 cent. Okay, so I have 12 cent. I need how much more? So again, I'm like, if I add these two amounts, that's what it's going to cost for the bar, plus I'm working out, so if I add, I'm working out how much the bar costs with the amount of money that I have. So they're not asking me to do that. They're not asking me to work out how much the bar and my money would amount to. They want you to work out how much more you need. So what is the difference between these two, okay? So we've had a lot of that so far. A lot of working out the difference between two numbers. So if I'm finding out the difference between these two numbers, 18 and 12, it again is going to be take. And just remember, boys and girls, that when I'm taking, the biggest number has to come first. So which number is bigger, 18 or 12? 18, isn't it? Okay. So here we have a lollipop for 7 cent and a packet of crisps for 11 cent. And it's saying the crisps cost how much more than the lollipop. Again, it's not asking you how much the two cost together, okay? It's asking you how much they cost, how much more the crisps cost than the lollipop. Because if you look here, the crisps are more expensive than the lollipop. So they want you to work out the difference between again. So the difference between is going to be take. So Mary has, we're on number 7 now. Mary has 5 cent, 2 cent and 1 cent. So adding them together, 5 and 2 is 7, 7 and 1 is 8. So Mary has 8 cent. Okay, it's not a very good 8 cent. And Jim has 2, 2, 2 and 1. So 2, 4, 6 and 1 is 7 cent. Okay, now this is a little bit different because we're going to hear a different word. Mary and Jim have how much all together between them, okay? So all together is the really important word in this one, boys and girls, because like I said earlier, if we were in school, we would be looking at our poster wall and we'd be looking to see which poster the word all together would be on. Is it on the addition poster or the subtraction poster? And we would see that all together is on the addition poster, okay? So when we see the word all together, it means that we have to add, okay? So we're adding together 8 cent plus 7 cent, okay? I'm always happy when I see the word all together because that's a nice easy one. All together just means you add, okay? So the pen costs, we're on to number 8. The pen costs 19 cent and the pencil costs 18 cent. The pencil costs how much less than the pen, okay? So we don't have to do any working out here of coin amounts because they tell you exactly how much it costs. So here we need to work out whether we're adding or taking. And I don't hear the word altogether. I don't hear them asking us to add this amount with this amount. They're asking us to work out how much less the pencil costs than the pen. So I'm working out the difference between the two of them. So the difference between is going to be take. Okay. Number 9. So the book costs 15 cent. Enda has 50 cent. Okay. How much change? So when we're working out the change, this was on one of the first ones up here, the change. We said change is going to be a take. Okay. And then Cahill, number 10, Cahill and Neil have 50 cent each. So Cahill has 50 cent and Neil has 50 cent. They both have 50 cent. Cahill buys the bucket for 25 cent and Neil buys the spade for 20 cents. So we have to work out who's going to have the most change. Now this one is a little bit different because what they want you to do is they want you to work out, you know, when they buy the thing that they're buying, so Cathal is buying the bucket and Neil is buying the spade, who will get more change back from the shopkeeper? So if you think about it, the person who's going to get more change back from the shopkeeper is the person who buys the least expensive thing. And who buys the least expensive thing? You have to work it out to see who buys the least expensive thing out of the spade and the bucket. Okay, so if you do that through all of these, boys and girls, if you work out how much, you know, if you add together the coins and write the amount above, and then if you do add or take beside it,